Welcome to Monsters and Mysteries, the channel where the unknown and the unexplained come to life. Dive deep into the world of chilling tales and enigmatic legends. From the depths of the ocean to the heart of forgotten forests, we explore the most captivating and spine-tingling stories from around the globe. Join us as we unravel the secrets of legendary monsters, investigate ancient myths, and decode mysterious phenomena. Each episode, we bring you a new monster or mystery of the week, accompanied by thrilling tales. Whether you're a believer or a skeptic, Monsters and Mysteries offers a journey into the uncharted territories of our world. Subscribe and join us every week for a new adventure into the unknown.
Case 3. Wailing of the Unseen Menace. Chapter 1. A New Beginning. Nestled near the majestic Andes Mountains lies a semi-urban town in Chile, where tranquility and mystery blend seamlessly. Into this serene setting steps Sergeant Valeria Ramos, accompanied by her family, Diego, her husband, and a dedicated teacher newly appointed to the local high school, Mateo, their 16-year-old son grappling with the shift from the vibrant life of Santiago to the subdued rhythm of a smaller town, and Sofia, the 11-year-old daughter enchanted by their new home yet anxious about forging new friendships. Sergeant Valeria Ramos had always prided herself on her resilience, a trait that had served her well in her career as a police officer. Their residence, a quaint two-story house, promises a fresh start. The upper floor harbors 2 bedrooms and a secretive attic, while the ground floor houses the kitchen and living room, with a garage and a compact basement adding to its charm. The process of making this house a home is filled with mixed emotions: excitement at the prospects of new beginnings, tinged with the weariness of unpacking and arranging their lives into this new space, along with the occasional frustration of misplaced boxes and the endless sea of bubble wrap. As Valeria navigates her authoritative role at the local police station with determination, Diego faces the challenge of adapting to a significantly smaller educational environment than he was accustomed to in the capital. Meanwhile, Mateo's frustration simmers at the perceived downgrade from city to town life, whereas Sofia's delight in their serene surroundings is shadowed only by her worries about social integration in her new school. The neighborhood, a tapestry of quiet life and hidden depths, welcomes the Ramos family with open arms. Among their new acquaintances are a newlywed couple blessed with an infant, their lives brimming with the joys and trials of parenthood. Another figure of note is Dona Lucia, an elderly lady whose fondness for the Ramos family manifests through frequent visits laden with culinary delights, a gesture of warmth that quickly endears her to them before she departs to visit her grandchildren in a nearby city. Chapter 2. Unsettling Whispers. As the Ramos family settles into their new life, a subtle shadow begins to cast over their days. Valeria, with her keen instincts honed on the force, senses an inexplicable watchfulness enveloping them. Initially, she attributes this unease to the pressures of adapting to her demanding role at the police station, convincing herself it's nothing more than the stress manifesting in heightened alertness. Diego, her husband, is the first to experience peculiar symptoms, waking parched and consumed by an unquenchable thirst each morning. When queried by Valeria, he lightly suggests that the arid climate of their new surroundings might be the cause, a stark contrast to the humidity of Santiago. However, what starts as an occasional inconvenience for Diego soon becomes a daily ordeal, one that Mateo, their teenage son, inexplicably begins to share. As days pass, Diego's vitality seems to wane further. His once enthusiastic participation in family life and household responsibilities dwindles, leaving him listless and disengaged. Valeria watches this transformation with a growing concern, yet the demands of her job leave her little room to ponder these disturbing changes. Burdened by a sense of responsibility for uprooting her family for the sake of her career, she endeavors to compensate by shouldering more of the household duties, silently noting the alarming signs but feeling too overwhelmed to confront them head-on. As the days unfold in their new home, an oddity begins to manifest, weaving an undercurrent of mystery through the Ramos household. Each family member starts to encounter feathers, inexplicably placed in corners, on windowsills, and even tucked within the folds of their belongings. These silent tokens of an unseen presence prompt a cautious response. Windows that once welcomed the crisp Andean air are now frequently shut, a barrier against the unseen avian visitor presumed responsible for these curious deposits. This peculiar development adds another layer of intrigue to their adjustment to life in this semi-urban enclave, casting a subtle shadow over their attempts to settle into a routine amidst the scenic tranquility of their new surroundings. One particular morning, Sophia approaches the breakfast table, her usually bright eyes clouded with the haze of sleeplessness. Valeria, ever observant, immediately senses her daughter's unrest. With a yawn, Sophia confesses that the cries of the neighbor's infant pierced the silence of the night, disrupting her dreams. What puzzles the family most is that Sophia alone bears witness to this nocturnal disturbance, as the rest of the Ramos household hears nothing. This pattern repeats sporadically over subsequent nights, casting a shadow of fatigue over Sophia. Mateo, too, begins to exhibit uncharacteristic irritability, a change Diego rationalizes as the tumultuous tide of teenage years. Yet, as the days wear on, Valeria can't help but notice an alarming trend. Mateo's energy dwindles, leaving him listlessly sprawled on the couch or bed, seeking solace in endless cans of soda, a stark contrast to his once active lifestyle. This shift, subtle yet insidious, signals to Valeria that the undercurrents of their home life might be veering into uncharted, possibly supernatural, waters. Sophia's restless nights persist, her sleep fragmented by the phantom cries of a baby that no one else seems to hear. As this mysterious wailing continues to haunt her, Diego's health takes a concerning turn. His body, ravaged by unrelenting thirst and an enigmatic ailment, necessitates medical intervention. The doctor's diagnosis of severe dehydration and an unidentified disease deepens the family's unease, leaving Valeria grappling with a growing sense of dread. Chapter 3. The Haunting Revealed. Compelled by her maternal instincts, Valeria decides to take a few days off work to tend to her ailing family. The weight of the situation burdens her, a heaviness that's only compounded one night when, to her disbelief, she too hears the elusive cries of the baby. Frustrated and desperate for answers, she ventures into the night, making her way to the neighbor's doorstep. Her intention to confront them is quickly diffused by the sight of the bewildered, sleepy-eyed husband, who greets her with confusion. With a softened tone, Valeria inquires about the infant, offering assistance to quell the nighttime disturbances that she believes have been unsettling her children. The revelation that comes next chills her to the bone. The neighbor, equally bewildered, informs her that his wife and child have been away for weeks, leaving him to dwell in solitude. This shocking disclosure sends a ripple of terror through Valeria, forcing her to reckon with the reality that the source of the mysterious cries might lie closer to home than she had ever imagined. Valeria seeks comfort in the possibility that the cries disturbing their nights might belong to another neighbor's child, a thought that briefly eases her worries. Yet, as she dedicates her days to caring for Diego and their children, the eerie wailing persists, unsettling the silence of their home. The alarming signs continue to manifest. Both children exhibit an insatiable thirst, mirroring Diego's unexplained symptoms, deepening Valeria's anxiety about the unknown malaise afflicting her family. Her concern escalates as she, too, begins to experience the same debilitating exhaustion and parched desperation that has plagued her loved ones. Then, one restless night, a peculiar sound stirs her from sleep, a noise that seems to crawl within the walls themselves. With a mix of dread and determination, Valeria traces the elusive sound from the attic to the depths of the house, only to have it lead her toward the basement. It's there, in the shadowy threshold of the stairwell, that she glimpses an indistinct shape darting past, a shadow that bears an uncanny resemblance, almost the size of a dog. Despite her exhaustive search, the mysterious presence remains just beyond her grasp, compelling her to question her own senses, attributing the chilling experience to the overwhelming fatigue clouding her mind. Their neighbor, the elderly Lady Dona Lucia, returns to the Ramos residence, bringing with her a palpable shift in the air. Upon hearing of the unsettling occurrences that have befallen Valeria's family, the color drains from the elderly woman's face, her eyes wide with fear. With trembling voice, she whispers a name that chills the room.
Es el Coulo.
Confusion mars Valeria's features as she probes for clarity, but Dona Lucia, her lips quivering, insists that an insidious presence has ensnared their home and pleads the urgency of seeking aid before hastily departing. Chapter 4. The Colo. Valeria stands at the crossroads of worry and skepticism, the old woman's ominous declaration echoing in her mind. Dismissing it as mere superstition feels easiest, yet the seed of curiosity has been sown. Driven by an inexplicable urge, she finds herself wandering into the local library the following day while on a grocery run, her thoughts anchored to the mysterious term Colo. With each inquiry and page turned, Valeria delves deeper into the lore, the library's hushed corridors offering a stark contrast to the storm of questions raging within her. In the quiet recesses of the library, Valeria's search begins to unravel a tapestry of myths surrounding the elusive Colo. Descriptions vary wildly across texts. One depicts it as a massive, feathered rodent, while another paints a picture of an entirely different beast, its origins as fantastical as its appearance, spawned from eggs laid by a serpent but warmed under the care of a rooster. Yet another source offers a divergent tale of its genesis. Amidst these varied accounts, a chilling consensus emerges regarding its nature and habits. The Colo, once hatched, seeks refuge within human homes, drawing sustenance from the saliva of its unwitting hosts. This parasitic feeding leaves its victims ensnared in a relentless fatigue, a shadow of their former selves, with the ominous warning that unchecked, the Colo-Colo's influence can culminate in death. Moreover, whispers of the creature's ability to inflict its hosts with grievous maladies add layers to the nightmare, painting a grim portrait of a predator hidden within plain sight, its presence a harbinger of despair. As Valeria pores over the ancient lore, a revelation dawns upon her, casting the recent disturbances in her home under a new, sinister light. The telltale signs of the Colo-Colo's presence, a pervasive, unexplained exhaustion among her loved ones, coupled with the eerie mimicry of an infant's cry piercing the night, suddenly align with the chilling description she's uncovered. The fragments of her family's suffering coalesce into a narrative foretold by folklore, suggesting they've become unwitting hosts to this mythical parasite. Yet, as the weight of this possibility settles upon her, Valeria's pragmatic mind rebels against the notion. The idea that a creature of myth, a specter from the pages of forgotten tomes, could be weaving its dark influence through her household seems too far-fetched, even laughable. She chides herself for entertaining the thought, attributing her willingness to believe to the overwhelming fatigue clouding her judgment and the desperate search for answers to the unrelenting malaise gripping her family. "It's just an old wives' tale," she mutters, a forced chuckle escaping her lips as she seeks to dismiss the growing dread with rationalization. Merely a coincidence, she reassures herself, though the seed of doubt, once planted, proves difficult to uproot. That very evening, a soft knock disturbs the uneasy peace of the Ramos household. Valeria opens the door to find Dona Lucia standing there, a figure of concern etched upon her face, accompanied by an older man dressed in traditional attire. With a voice heavy with earnestness, Dona Lucia introduces him as a shaman, a bearer of ancient wisdom and rituals, who might hold the key to their salvation. Valeria's skepticism forms a tangible barrier between her and the possibility of supernatural intervention. The rational part of her mind, trained in the logic of law enforcement, initially balks at the idea of subjecting her children to what she perceives as mere theatrics. Yet, driven to the brink by the inexplicable afflictions tormenting her family, she finds herself relenting, a part of her clinging to the faint hope that perhaps, in the realm of the unknown, solutions might exist beyond the grasp of modern science. As the shaman moves through their home, his murmured incantations fill the air. Evil, infested, Colo, El Colo, a litany against the darkness. He embarks on a series of rituals, his actions steeped in the traditions of a world unseen, aiming to cleanse their dwelling of the malevolent Colo Colo. Valeria watches, a silent sentinel, as this ancient drama unfolds within her living room, her family kept safely removed from the spectacle. With a gracious nod, she thanks the shaman for his efforts, her words polite yet hollow, still unable to fully embrace the reality he represents. Dona Lucia receives a farewell tinged with gratitude, not for the veracity of her beliefs, but for the concern she's shown. In the privacy of her thoughts, Valeria dismisses the evening's events as mere pageantry, a desperate grasp at straws in the face of an enemy that logic cannot define. Chapter 5. A Fateful Decision. The night unfolds with a haunting familiarity as Valeria is jolted awake by the piercing cries of a baby. In a moment of clarity amidst panic, she splashes water on her face, a ritual to ground herself in reality. Assured of her wakefulness yet still ensnared by the cries, she follows the distressing sounds to her children's room, her service gun a cold weight behind her. What greets her there chills her to the core. Mateo lies unconscious, oblivious to the world, while over Sophia, a shadow looms, a creature of nightmares, its tongue flickering menacingly like that of a serpent. Without hesitation, Valeria draws her weapon, her voice a fierce challenge against the darkness. The creature retreats into the shadows, leaving behind a palpable sense of dread. With maternal instinct overpowering fear, Valeria gathers her children, one in her arms, the other draped over her shoulder, and carries them to the safety of the lawn outside. The night air brushes against their faces, a stark contrast to the oppression that lingers within the walls of their home. As she makes a second desperate dash to retrieve Diego, the sense of being watched intensifies, a sinister presence lurking just beyond her peripheral vision. In the cold embrace of the night, with her family huddled on the lawn, a desperate memory flashes through Valeria's mind, a fragment of lore from the dusty pages of an ancient book she had stumbled upon in the library.
The only remedy is burning the building in order to kill.
Driven by a primal urge to protect her loved ones at any cost, clarity and reason give way to a raw, instinctual response. With a heart heavy with fear and hands trembling with determination, she dashes to the garage, seizing a can of kerosene. Her actions are almost automatic, fueled by a mix of dread and resolve, as she douses their home in the flammable liquid. Striking a match, she watches as flames begin to consume the structure, a pyre meant to purge the malevolent force that has claimed their sanctuary. Returning to her family's side, Valeria wraps her arms around them, their bodies pressed together in a tight embrace on the lawn. The fire crackles in the background, a roaring testament to the lengths a mother will go to protect her children. In that moment, bound by love and fear, they watch as their home, and the darkness within, is reduced to ashes. As the flames engulf the Ramos family home, a gathering of neighbors forms, a collective murmur of concern swelling in the cool night air. Amidst the chaos, a quick-thinking bystander dials the emergency number, summoning help to the scene. Within moments, the wail of sirens announces the arrival of firefighters, who spring into action, navigating through the throng to reach the family and battle the blaze that threatens to consume everything. Chapter 6. Lingering Shadows. In the aftermath, Valeria and her family are whisked away to the sanctuary of the hospital. The weeks that follow are a blur of recovery and reflection, a slow journey back to a semblance of health. While Valeria's physical wounds heal more swiftly, allowing for an early discharge, the scars that mark her psyche run deeper. The burden of witnessing her family's suffering, coupled with the drastic measures she took in response, leaves her grappling with psychological turmoil. Doctors attribute her actions to the immense stress and strain of the ordeal, a desperate bid to save her loved ones from an unseen terror, a narrative that both explains and obscures the true nature of the events that unfolded in their home. In the aftermath of the ordeal, the Ramos family seeks solace in a fresh start, relocating to a new neighborhood. Their foresight in ensuring their previous home offers them a semblance of relief amidst the turmoil. On a day shrouded in the quiet aftermath of recovery, Valeria returns to the charred remnants of what once promised to be a haven for her family. She navigates through the ruins, a poignant journey through memories now turned to ash, in search of anything that might have withstood the devastation. Her exploration leads her to the basement, a space once filled with the ordinary clutter of life, now holding the secrets of the night that changed everything. It's there, among the debris, that she stumbles upon an anomaly, fragments of eggshells, large and peculiar, unlike any she has ever encountered. A chill of recognition courses through her as she recalls the legend of the Colo Colo, a myth that had become all too real for her family. Doubt and uncertainty cloud her thoughts. Was the creature of the night a figment born of stress and fatigue, as others have suggested, rationalizing her actions as the result of psychological strain? Or had they truly been in the grasp of something beyond the ordinary? Despite the lingering questions, Valeria finds a fragile peace in the belief that the fire might have purged their home of the malevolent presence, ensuring the safety of her loved ones from a threat that defied explanation. Valeria's fleeting sense of relief shatters as swiftly as it had formed. In the midst of her departure from the basement's gloomy confines, a chilling sight arrests her steps. Across the room, in stark defiance of the solace she had begun to embrace, lay scattered remnants of destruction, a collection of charred eggshell fragments, eerily mirroring those she had just discovered. This haunting discovery, nestled in the shadows of a corner long forgotten, reignites a torrent of unease, suggesting that the sinister legacy of the Colo Colo might not have been fully extinguished by the flames. The end.
Thank you for joining us on Monsters and Mysteries. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the enigmatic and unknown. If you're fascinated by the world of the unexplained, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications on our latest episodes. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you. Who knows what mysteries you might uncover?